Report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. More on how the world and this country I'm reporting from, the United States, is actually responding and reacting to the spread of SARS-CoV-2, coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, that Rona. Make sure you check out that link in the Black Files News Instagram bio. It'll take you to Rona, aka BFN World Broadcast number 17. Rap song about basically that, coronavirus or whatever, but it's informative and that shit make your head knock, you know what I mean? Now check this out though. We are at 76,000 people dead worldwide from this pandemic, and the numbers believed to be a lot higher due to the lack of testing in the U.S. and abroad. Nevertheless, people infected include like Prime Minister Boris Johnson of Britain, who this is a place where there's like around 5,000 people now who have died from it. But before, he was the person that was like suggesting, herd immunity, or he was advocating that, just letting the virus, just burn through the population rapidly. Nevertheless, now he's in ICU with, hasn't been hooked to a ventilator yet, but he has needed oxygen. And, you have the foreign minister of Britain that's actually in his place in the meantime. But back to the U.S. though, 367,000 people infected officially, and 97% of the population is under some sort of a stay-at-home order. Green Wall and Graduation. The Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Now, either the motherfucker knows a bunch of shit that we don't know, or he's just a shithead. Like, you know what I mean? Highly, like, arrogance on a trillion. Like, because at the end of the day, you have 11 bipartisan senators, including 4 Republicans, that are calling on Trump to use the Defense Production Act to basically fill the need of fill the void of medical gear to all of these hospital workers around the country, due to this report that came out by the Health and Human Services Inspector General that basically says that there's a critical shortage. And Trump basically said that he felt the Inspector General, the watchdog, was politically motivated. Also, the New York Times actually put out an article showing that Trump had that there was a memo by Trump's financial trade advisor Pete Navarro, who actually tried to warn Trump, a stark warning about how COVID-19 could potentially kill hundreds of thousands of people in the U.S. and tank the economy. The Washington Post also put out an article showing that U.S. intelligence and Alex Azar, the Secretary for Health and Human Services, actually tried to warn Trump about this shit in January, and he dismissed their worries as alarming. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So, Walmart, Trader Joe's, and Giant. These are grocery store, supermarket chains that have actually amassed a total of at least 4 employees who have died from COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, coronavirus disease, that Rona. You know what I'm saying? That's unfortunate to even report some shit like that, because I'm not trying to scare people. There are already stores that are coming up with all of these barriers to put between the cashier and the customer. So there are precautions being taken in some areas, but in other places, you have workers that are still being forced to work, and they don't even have like masks or gloves or anything like that, and not even being allowed to get like sick leave or whatever. But then you have other states doing the right thing, like Colorado, Minnesota, Vermont. They've actually labeled grocery store workers as essential workers, and extending like free child care and paid medical leave and all of that. So we gotta take care of the people that's front line and trying to get our economy through this shit. Food for thought. Green Wall graduate. The New World, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So over in Wisconsin, I've been telling y'all that they were actually still going to have their primary elections today, despite the coronavirus outbreak and people being in fear of that. And so obviously people ain't trying to come outside if they don't have to, and poll workers aren't even trying to come out and work if they don't have to. In Milwaukee, they actually went from 180 polling stations to just 5 today. So, but they're still going to go ahead with it, despite Democratic Governor Tony Evers' attempt to actually delay the primaries. They have like a Republican, a majority Republican legislature, and a Supreme Court that like leans towards the right as well. and that Supreme Court basically rejected his or got rid of his executive order to try to delay the primary. So they still going on with the vote. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court actually voted 5-4 on basically not extending the absentee ballot deadline to next week, which could result in the throwing out of tens of thousands of absentee ballots. People ain't even get their ballots yet, and they're not going to get until after Election Day because there's such a high demand for it now since the coronavirus outbreak. But it looks like a lot of disenfranchisement on the voter side going on up there. You know what I'm saying? Like Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg had actually said. So she was one of the 4 people that actually voted to extend the ballot deadline. Greenwald graduated. In the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News report. Make sure you support the movement by going to blackfilesnews.com/shop. Get you some fly shit like this in different colors, shapes, and sizes to match all your kicks and fitteds and your outfits and all of that, whatever. And we got other shit too, you know what I'm saying? Sneakers, pants, we got motherfucking towels, etc., man. Check it out, blackfilesnews.com/shop. And link is in any one of our YouTube bios, and may fuck around and be in the Instagram bio. I know that Rona BFN World Broadcast number 17 link is there right now, but you can find the Black Fox News shop link in the video description for that video. But check this out though, in New York, Governor Cuomo is basically saying like their death toll is plateauing. Since on Sunday and Monday it was around like 600 on each day. Nevertheless, this is a state that still has nearly 5,000 deaths due to COVID-19. And this is a number that's like rising exponentially, so people are still worried about this shit. And you know, as is he, non-essential businesses and schools will still be closed until April 29th. But the fines that come from violating social distancing orders will actually double from like $500 to about $1,000. So, you know, don't rack up any debt trying to fuck around, be defiant, be some fake pseudo revolutionary on some other shit, and you don't really know what you're doing, and come out of this motherfucking mess with $100K in debt. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, some extreme shit. I don't know. Nevertheless, this is a state that has nearly 5,000 deaths due to the coronavirus, 131,000 confirmed cases, and 16,000 hospitalizations. Greenwald graduated. In the world, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, has actually sued a federal prison in Oakville, Louisiana, for 5 prisoners actually dying from COVID-19, coronavirus disease 2019, SARS-CoV-2, aka that Rona. And make sure you check out BFN World Broadcast number 17, aka Rona. The link is in the Black Fox News Instagram bio. The shit Bob and it's informative. But what the ACLU is trying to do is actually force the Federal Bureau of Prisons to actually release prisoners throughout the country who are like already have illnesses and are susceptible to like are at high risk of like catching and dying from the coronavirus. This comes as in Ohio and a federal prison in Elkton. There were 3 prisoners that were suspected to have died from coronavirus disease. The Ohio National Guard has actually been deployed to work inside there. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Greenwald graduation. In the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So after a weekend of actually having dwindling death toll numbers due to COVID-19, France has actually had their highest death toll for a day just yesterday, bringing their total to about 9,000. They're only in Europe behind Spain and Italy, you know, which have been reported to have it a lot worse. But nevertheless, France is actually reaching 100,000 confirmed coronavirus cases. Over in Spain, though, while their death toll is at 13,000, but they had a different announcement, which was that 40,000 people had actually recovered and been released from the hospital. People who contracted COVID-19. So that's a little more on a positive note. Also, their Minister of Economic Affairs has announced that they're going to implement a universal basic income for their citizens as soon as possible in order to get these working families over this hump of this national lockdown resulting from the disease outbreak. Greenwald graduation. What other do we'll do? The Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. It's a shame that they even had to ask this, but the Guatemalan government has actually requested from the United States to actually limit their number of deportees to 25 people per airplane. Now keep in mind that there were already like two deportations that took place. Two citizens trying to seek and gain asylum in the U.S. deported to Guatemala, and they actually tested positive for having coronavirus or COVID-19 specifically. So, just limit 25 people per airplane so we can try to spread this try to prevent the spread of this coronavirus. That's basically what they're asking the U.S. So, green war on graduation, man. The New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Peru and Panama, they're actually all taking on policies alternating the days on which men and women can actually leave the house in order to like encourage social distancing and and essentially the battle COVID-19 or the spread of COVID-19 and coronavirus disease 2019 SARS-CoV-2, that Rona, and make sure you check out BFN Report broadcast number 17, link in the Black Fox News Instagram bio. Give you some good information, and the shit it's a hot track, like make sure you check that out. But nevertheless, as you can imagine, with policies like that, who would be upset about that? There's the LGB and then there's the T. You know what I'm saying? They have an issue with that. Like, obviously people are having an issue with some of these transgenders coming out on the days for the men or the days for the women. So the activists for that community is speaking out. Green war on graduation. The New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Pakistan, this is a country that actually has 4,000 confirmed coronavirus disease cases and 40 deaths reported due to COVID-19. In Quetta on Monday, there were actually hundreds of doctors and nurses that were actually protesting outside of these basically out in the streets or whatever, protesting against the government's inability to like give them personal protective gear and an adequate amount of it. So dozens of them were arrested. Riot police were even beating them the fuck up with batons and shit. So it's getting ugly over there. Do y'all want people to like catch this shit? And spread it out to more people? Like that shit like that is odd to me. Nevertheless, it was seen as defiance. And probably went against some made people uneasy on the social distancing tip, but let the people have a call out for wanting to be protected, especially if you're supposed to protect them. Green war on graduation. For the New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So India has actually stepped back from halting its exports of hydrochloroquine. This is a drug that actually treats malaria. And this is that same anti-malaria drug that Trump has actually been saying that, people should try. He feels like it's going to be a game changer in order to deal with COVID-19. Now, they halted they stepped back from the plan to halt the exports after the Trump administration had threatened to retaliate them against doing so. India is the world's largest producer of hydrochloroquine. Now, in another spin, and I'm going to get into this more so tomorrow, but turns out that Trump actually has stock in companies that actually make hydrochloroquine. Or he has stock in a company, and also has friends that are running companies that make this shit. So, this is what happens when you put people with greed and dirty money ties into these high positions of office. Green war on graduation. The New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the U.S. is actually being accused of blocking their U.S. medical equipment from being shipped to these other countries that are supposed to be buying them, as far as this globalization economy is already supposed to work. For example, in Canada, Ontario's premier Doug Ford has actually said that Trump had the Trump administration blocked 3 million face mask orders that were actually supposed to go to Ontario, a place that's actually going to run out of these face masks in a week or so. Over in Germany, they accused the U.S. of modern piracy after 200,000 mask was actually supposed to go to them. And then in Barbados, they actually said that there was 20 ventilators that were actually intercepted by the U.S. that was supposed to go to them. Now, this comes as the Associated Press actually reported that it wasn't until mid-March that they started bulk ordering N95 masks, even though hospitals around the United States were already requesting them and saying that they would be in stress and pushed to the limit. Green War and graduation. Report out of the New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So Cardinal George Pell actually walked free yesterday after Australia's highest court overturned his sexual abuse conviction. This was the highest ranking member of the Catholic Church to have actually been convicted of sexual assault and of underage boys. He was of the Vatican's former chief financial officer, and this was somebody that was basically sentenced to 6 years in prison last year for fucking fucking on these little boys in the 90s, and now he's walking free. And that Catholic Church shit, y'all gotta figure that motherfucking shit out, cause right now y'all motherfuckers are straight evil. Green War graduation. In the world, though, the Bishop Grady let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the United Nations is actually reporting that this shelling that took place at a women's prison in Yemen's Taiz province could actually amount to a war crime. I mean, this actually resulted in 5 prisoners being killed, and a dozen people being injured, including like 4 children. So the attack itself was blamed on Houthi rebels. These are the people that are actually supposed to be fighting on behalf of Yemen and against like Saudi Arabian and U.S.-backed Saudis and other invasions. You know what I'm saying, like the United Arab Emirates and all of that, whatever. But nevertheless, that's what happened. Green War and graduation. Report out of the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the Russian imperial movement, the Russian imperial movement has been announced by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as a terrorist organization, actually a foreign terrorist organization. This is the first time ever that a white supremacist group has actually been listed as a terrorist organization in the United States. That's crazy by itself. Nevertheless, this is an organization that actually is known for, like, you know what I mean, supporting neo-Nazi groups in Russia and in Europe, and they provide paramilitary training to white supremacist groups. So, you know, now they're on the list and they're going to have sanctions imposed on them. So is this a step forward in the right direction for America? Is it too little too late? How is the KKK not already on there? Green War and graduation.